My fiancée told me she was going to a party with her friends. I didn't say anything. An hour after she left, her best friend called me and said, "You need to come here. It's important." I checked the location, and my heart dropped. She wasn't at a party. She was somewhere else. When I arrived, the scene in front of me was strange and unsettling. Before I could even process what I was seeing, my fiancée came running toward me, crying, trying to explain everything, finally telling me the truth. But by then, I had already made my decision. I'm 28 years old, and 3 months ago, I thought I had my entire future mapped out. I was engaged to the woman I'd been with for 4 years. Then one Saturday night, everything shattered in 2 hours. My fiancée, Lauren, told me she was going to a birthday party for one of her college friends at a rooftop bar downtown. She'd been talking about it all week. I didn't think twice about it. She kissed me goodbye around 7 and left in an Uber wearing a black dress I'd never seen before. I settled in for a quiet night, ordered Thai food, started a documentary. Around 8:30, my phone rang. It was Becca, Lauren's best friend since high school. "Hey, where are you right now?" Becca's voice was tight, urgent. "Home. What? You need to come to 1247 Oakwood Terrace. Right now? Don't call Lauren. Just come." My stomach dropped. "What's going on? Is she okay?" "She's fine. Physically. But you need to see this for yourself." "I'm serious. Come now." She hung up before I could ask anything else. I pulled up the address. Oakwood Terrace was a residential street across town, nowhere near downtown. Nowhere near any rooftop bar. My hands were shaking as I grabbed my keys. The entire drive, I kept trying to logic my way through it. Maybe the party got moved. Maybe Becca was overreacting. But none of those explanations made sense with the tone in her voice, that mix of anger and pity. I pulled up to a modest 2-story house with cars lining both sides of the street. Music thumped from inside. Through the windows, I could see people moving around. It looked like a party. But why would Becca sound like that if it was just a party? I was halfway up the walkway when Becca appeared on the porch. She looked miserable. "I'm sorry," she said immediately. "I debated calling you. But you deserve to know." "Know what?" She gestured toward the door. "Third house on the block is where the actual birthday party is. That's where I am. That's where Lauren told you she'd be. But about an hour ago, I saw her car parked here. I texted her asking where she was. She said she was at the birthday party with me. My blood went cold. She lied. She lied. So I walked over here and looked through the window. I saw her inside. And I saw who she was with." "Who?" Becca's jaw clenched. "Go see for yourself." I pushed open the front door. The house was packed, maybe 30 people scattered between the living room and kitchen, red cups everywhere, music blasting. Nobody paid attention to me as I moved through the crowd. And then I saw her. Lauren was standing in the kitchen, leaning against the counter, laughing at something a guy was saying. His hand was on her lower back. She wasn't pulling away. She looked comfortable, happy. The guy was tall, athletic build, wearing a vintage band t-shirt. I'd never seen him before in my life. I stood there frozen. Maybe this was innocent. Maybe he was just some touchy friend. But then she tilted her head back, still laughing, and he leaned close to her ear. His hand slid from her back to her hip. And she let him. I walked straight toward them. She didn't see me until I was 5 feet away. When she did, every drop of color drained from her face. "Andrew," she breathed. The guy's hand dropped immediately. He looked between us, confused. "So this is the birthday party," I said. My voice sounded calm. I didn't feel calm. Lauren pushed off the counter, stumbling slightly. "What are you? How did you?" "Becca called me. Said I should come see where you really were." "Andrew, I can explain." "Explain what? That you lied to me? That you told me you'd be downtown, and you're actually at some random house party with some guy's hands all over you?" The guy stepped back, hands raised. "Whoa, man, I didn't know she had a..." "Get out of here," I said, not looking at him. He left fast. Lauren reached for my arm. I pulled away. "It's not what it looks like," she said. Tears were already forming. "This is Kyle's house. He's Jenna's brother. I came here after the other party ended early. You texted Becca an hour ago saying you were still at the birthday party with her. While you were here, you actively lied. Because I knew you'd be upset if I told you I was coming here. Why would I be upset unless you were doing something wrong?" She didn't have an answer for that. People around us were starting to notice. The music felt too loud. "Who is he?" I asked quietly. "Just a guy from..." "Who is he, Lauren?" She swallowed hard. "Someone I knew in college. We reconnected a few months ago. He reached out on Instagram, We started talking. It was just friendly. A few months. My voice cracked. You've been talking to him for months and didn't tell me? Because it didn't mean anything. It was just messages. Does just catching up usually involve him touching you like that? Her face crumpled. Andrew, please, can we talk about this at home? Not here. No. We're talking now. How many times have you seen him? Silence. Lauren, how many times? 3, she whispered. Including tonight. The floor felt unstable. 3 times. You've met up with another guy 3 times behind my back, and tonight you lied so you could see him again. I wasn't cheating. We were just hanging out, talking. With his hand on your hip? While you're wearing a dress I've never seen before. She was fully crying now. I didn't do anything physical with him, I swear. I've been confused. Wedding planning has been so stressful, and you've been working so much, and I felt alone, and he was just there. So this is my fault. No, that's not what I meant. You felt alone, so you started an emotional affair with some guy from college and lied to your fiancé about it repeatedly. She grabbed my arm desperately. Please don't do this here. Please. Let me explain everything at home. I made a mistake, but we can work through this. I looked at her, really looked at her, and something inside me went quiet. The panic, the anger, all of it faded into this cold, clear certainty. I don't think we can, I said. Her eyes went wide. What? I can't marry someone who lies to me, who hides entire relationships from me. Andrew, no, please. She was sobbing now, gripping my shirt. I love you. I made a mistake, but I love you. We can fix this. You loved me and still did this. That's the problem. I pulled her hands off me and stepped back. Becca was waiting outside, exactly where I'd left her. She looked at my face and her shoulders sagged. Thank you for calling me, I said. For what it's worth, I told her 2 weeks ago she needed to tell you about Kyle or stop seeing him. She promised me she would. She didn't. Lauren came stumbling out, mascara streaked down her face. Andrew, wait, please. I turned around. I'm going home. Don't follow me. I need space to think. How much space? A few days. I didn't answer. I got in my car and drove away. She called me 17 times that night. I didn't pick up. She sent a wall of text messages, apologies, explanations, promises to cut Kyle off completely. I read them all and didn't respond. Update. I spent the next 3 days at my brother's place. Lauren kept texting, long messages about how sorry she was, how she'd been stupid and selfish. She sent me screenshots of her blocking Kyle. She sent me a letter about everything she loved about me. None of it changed the fundamental issue. She'd lied. Repeatedly. Deliberately. On day 4, I finally agreed to meet her for coffee. She showed up looking exhausted, eyes swollen. Thank you for coming, she said, voice hoarse. I just nodded. I know you're angry. You have every right to be. What I did was horrible, and I have no excuse. You're right. You don't. She flinched. I've been thinking about why I did it. And I think I got scared. Of what? Of everything being so final. Of getting married, and this being my entire life. Kyle represented this version of me from before I had all these responsibilities. Talking to him felt like being 22 again. So you wanted to relive being 22 while still having me waiting at home. I didn't think about it like that. I felt like I was losing myself in wedding planning, and talking to him was this escape. I stared at her. Do you hear yourself? You're describing an emotional affair. You found someone else to confide in, to get validation from. You created a secret relationship because it made you feel good. I know, she whispered. And I hate myself for it. I don't need you to hate yourself. I need you to understand why I can't trust you anymore. Her face crumpled. So that's it. We're done. I don't know yet. But I do know I can't marry you in 3 months. Not like this. What about couples therapy? Lauren, we weren't even married yet, and you were already looking outside the relationship. What happens when things get hard after we're married? When we have kids, and you feel alone again? Do you just find another Kyle? No. This was a one-time. You saw him 3 times. You lied for months. That's not one mistake, that's a pattern. She reached for my hand. I let her take it, mostly because I was too tired to pull away. I will spend the rest of my life making this up to you if you let me. I will go to therapy. I will do whatever it takes. That's the thing. I don't want you to become someone. I thought you already were that person. And finding out you weren't. That's what I can't get past. We sat in silence. She cried. I didn't. Eventually, I stood up. I need more time. How much time? I don't know. Andrew, the wedding venue, the deposits, our families. I'll figure that out. But right now I need space. I left her sitting there. 2 weeks later, I made my decision. I'd spent the time talking to my brother, my best friend, even my dad. I'd imagined what staying would look like versus leaving. I'd pictured our wedding day and tried to imagine standing at the altar without that sick feeling. I couldn't do it. I asked Lauren to meet me at the apartment when she got off work. I'm calling off the wedding, I said before she could sit down. She froze. What? I can't do it. I tried to imagine moving past this, but I can't. Every time I think about marrying you, all I see is you lying to me. Andrew, please, we can work on trust. Maybe, but not while planning a wedding. She sank onto the couch, shaking. So we're breaking up? I think we have to. You think or you know? I know. The sound she made was somewhere between a sob and a gasp. I ruined everything. Yeah, you did. She looked up at me. Do you still love me? I thought about that. I don't know. I love who I thought you were. But I don't know if that person ever existed. She did. She does. I made a horrible mistake, but I'm still me. The version of you I knew wouldn't have done this. So either you hid that side for 4 years, or something changed. Either way, I don't know you as well as I thought. And I can't marry someone I don't know. She buried her face in her hands and cried. I stood there feeling empty and exhausted and sad, but also, underneath it all, relieved. I'll move out, I said. You can keep the apartment. You don't have to leave. Yes, I do. I went to the bedroom and started packing. She followed me, watching from the doorway. I'm sorry, she said for the 100th time. I know you are. Is there anything I can say that would change your mind? I stopped packing and looked at her. No. She nodded slowly. At the door, I turned around one last time. She was sitting on the floor, crying silently. For what it's worth, I hope you figure out whatever you were looking for. But I can't be part of that process. I want you, she whispered. You should have thought about that before you lied. I closed the door behind me. It's been 3 months now. I signed a lease on a studio apartment. Started going to the gym more. Reconnected with old friends. Threw myself into work. I haven't talked to Lauren since the day I moved out. She texted me a few times in the first month, mostly apologizing. I didn't respond. Eventually, the messages stopped. Becca told me Lauren moved back in with her parents. Said she's in therapy now. Good for her. But it's not my problem anymore. My mom asked me last week if I'd ever try again with Lauren. No, I said. That part of my life is over. Do you miss her? Sometimes. I miss who I thought she was. But that person doesn't exist. I don't know if I'll ever fully understand why Lauren did what she did. Maybe she got cold feet. Maybe she really did feel lost. It doesn't matter anymore. What matters is I trusted my gut. I didn't ignore the red flags. I didn't let guilt or fear of starting over trap me in a broken relationship. Some people might think I gave up too easily, that I should have fought harder, tried therapy, given her another chance. But here's the thing. She knew what she was doing. She made deliberate choices, repeatedly. She looked me in the eye and lied. And when I caught her, her first instinct was to minimize and deflect. That's not someone who made a mistake. That's someone who showed me exactly who they were. And I believed them. Calling off the wedding hurt. Breaking up hurt. Rebuilding my life hurt. But marrying her would have hurt worse. And 3 months later, sitting in my studio apartment eating takeout alone, I don't regret my decision for a second. I dodged a bullet that night Becca called me. And I'm grateful I took the shot while I still could.